The Great Debaters Contest 2016 registration is now open. Teachers or school administrations should register on www.greatdebaterscontest.com/register.
Welcome to the show that puts the D in debate. This is the Great Debaters Contest, Nyeri Region. I am Austin Yombok.
And I am Mariam Bishar. Welcome to the show. We have Leshau boys going versus Karima boys on whether the family institution is more to blame for the moral decadence in society. We'll have the debaters tackle this very sensitive topic now. Proposal number 1, you have 3 minutes.
My name is Daniel Mashangi from Leshau Boys. And yes, the family institution does bear more responsibility for the moral decadence in the society today. May I start by giving an example by Adolf Hitler. Adolf Hitler was the Nazi leader. He took part in the Second World War. Yes. Adolf Hitler was born on 20th April in a small Austrian town of Branul Amanin in Acker, Austria, and on the Austrian-German border. The Hitler family was a financially comfortable family. From the story of Adolf Hitler, if the family had taken responsibility in the moral upbringing of their children, Adolf Hitler would not be involved in the World War II, and this would have helped the world in saving millions of lives. Adolf Hitler bears the blood of millions of people in his hands. And yes, the family does have an impact in the today decadence of family, of the moral decadence in the society. The second example is Osama bin Laden. We all know this man, founder of Al-Qaeda. He was born in Saudi Arabia and family member of the bin Laden millionaire family. He studied in the university of the country until 1979. If the family had taken moral responsibility of this person, it would have saved millions of lives. And thank you.
Opposition, you have 3 minutes to make your opening statements.
My name is Victor Njuguna from Karima High School, the Great. Now, a story is told of a family, Mr. and Mrs. Wambogo. These two form a family comprising of 3 children. 1, Austin, 2, Kush, and 3, Martin. Austin, let's say they all managed, their parents were well up, and they were able to take them through secondary school. So they all managed to go to high school and get good universities. Of the 3, Austin and Kush managed to get degrees in architecture and engineering respectively, while Martin managed to get a course in teaching. All the 3 had the same conditions while at home. They had the same parents, but for Kush, he ended up selling drugs in the university. Now, what does this say? What I'm trying to put across is we cannot blame our families for our own behaviors. I'm sure what the first opposer was saying about Osama bin Laden and Adolf Hitler, I guess, I think it's irrelevant because once you attain the age of 18, one is able to make the conscious decisions. You're an adult by then, but you're supposed to make your own decisions by then. So I stand here to strongly propose the motion that says the family institution bears more responsibility for the moral decadence in the society. Another point, the media. The media today, the media's work is to inform, educate, and above all, be a watchdog of society. But what do we see today? Nude women on television, vague music videos. Where are we heading to as a country? There's no way you'll expect my parent to restrict me from watching television, and it's there. So I think the media has also played a very big role in detrimenting our morals and our upbringing. It calls for one to stand up and be counted and say, I will not do this, I will not participate in this. What is moral is that which is deemed by society to be right. So it calls for all of us here to know what is right, for it is in us. A great man once said, if you stand for a reason, be prepared to stand alone, like a tree, and if you fall on the ground, fall like a seed that grows back to fight again. Victor Njuguna, Karima, thank you.
We'll hear cross-examinations now. Proposers, you have 3 minutes.
Augustine Monene, Leshau boys. I love to hold you close, tonight and always. I love to wake up next to you. These are the songs that our parents are singing in front of their children. Children are being exposed what is not morally upright. For example, they are being exposed to uncontrolled entertainment programs, which are specially designed for only the parents alone. Thereby, the family institution bears more responsibility for the moral decadence in the society. If we compare the society today and what used to be before, the youth of opposite genders were not being allowed to interact. Only in specific occasions was this allowed, meaning that there was no moral, there are no immoral activities which were taking place. If we take the society we have, for example, some parents, they will expose their family coups in front of their children. A father comes home drunk, slaps the mother just because she has not prepared food. What will the son think of the mother? She's weak. And what will he say to his sister? You are weak just like our mother. And what will he do? He will slap the sister instead. Also, let's take for example, right here in Nyeri, we have been experiencing several cases of men who have been denied the chance of parenthood by their wives, simply because they cannot be able to resolve their issues privately. A man comes home drunk. Instead of the wife talking to him, advising him, what does she do? She gets a knife. Does whatever she does. And then, what will the children think? These two are not working together. And what do? They will also emulate them. Thereby, our families are also responsible for moral decadence in the society. Some parents have started to allow their children to use contraceptives as a way of preventing pregnancies. This is how they expose the immorality to their children. A child, for example, will use the contraceptives, yes. But in life, this is the fact. Nothing is perfect. In one way or the other, or in some cases, the girls may end up getting pregnant, and they also may end up having sexually transmitted diseases. Thereby, we can all be able to see that some of our families are responsible for the moral decadence in the society today. And need I say more? I don't think so. Thank you.
Opposition, you have 3 minutes.
It's only clever men who learn through other people's mistakes. But foolish men will wait and learn from their own mistakes. From Karima High School, I'm Alex Mogiria. First of all, I'm in deep pain seeing my fellow learned colleagues here stand in front of more than 500 people giving a lie. It hurts. Let me just give the truth so as to save the audience. Okay, how can you just say that the use of contraceptives should not be applied? You cannot change it. The generation that is there, we cannot just close our eyes and say contraceptives should not be used, but that will definitely bring more harm to our society. We should also try and guide our youth. If the behavior is there, we cannot close our eyes. We must give them the direction. We should use the contraceptives or such. Would you be happy seeing hundreds of our youth die of HIV and AIDS? Would you be happy seeing most of our girls drop out of school because of early pregnancies? That can never happen in our society. So I don't get your point. They also talked about that a father and the family is singing such songs, I wish to a little bit correct them because the family is not the author of the song. There is an artist, so that applies under the media. So he is simply supporting us. Family are not playing the role of destroying the society. It's the media. The songs for under the media, not under the family, because dad did not compose the song. The mother did not compose the song. It was on the 17th of June, 2016, in a newspaper in Kenya, page 2. And it said this: a teacher jailed for 90 years for having sodomized 9 boys. Yeah, do you still have to blame the parents? A parent played his role, sent the child to school, but what has happened? The teacher turned the school into another big issue. We have what we call the peer pressure. You know, you cannot bring up your child as an island. We have the society. You may train your child, give him all he requires, but what happens? He goes out there, meets friends, and gets spoiled up. And with that, thank you.
The Great Debaters Contest 2016 registration is now open. Teachers or school administrations should register on www.greatdebaterscontest.com/register. The Great Debaters Contest 2016 registration is now open. Teachers or school administrations should register on www.greatdebaterscontest.com/register.
The proposers have been asked how they claim that Hitler's behavior was tied to how he was brought up, yet his mother was Jewish. And the opposition have been asked if they're suggesting that parents should advocate for use of contraceptives among the youth and their children. We'll have them respond. Proposer number 3, you have 3 minutes.
Samson Mureti, Leshau boys. First, I would like to answer that question. A parent is not just a parent. A mother is not just a vessel to carry 9 months. A mother is that gives you advice each and every time you go astray. Why Hitler got or came to have bad immoral behaviors is just because of one reason. His parents were not keen about their children. That's an answer. And also, I'm having a problem because my opponents here, they were talking about the media being the source of immoral decadency to their children. How does this media get to their children? How does this media reach their children if they are there? As children nowadays, let us call us children below 18, we are fully dependent on our parents. If they are taking the point of peer pressure being their stronghold, but let me tell you, if your child or you are a parent one day, remember this. What you will never be able to make your children not to interact, but you can be able to teach your children to interact in the right manner. That's why my mother, I take myself for an example, a living testimony, that all my interactions that I have are based on the moral uprightness that I have from my mother. Let me go straight to a verse in the Holy Bible. Spare the rod, spoil the child. Proverbs chapter 23, chapter 13, verse 24. What our parents are doing nowadays is that my child, my boy, is going with, sleeping with each and every girl in the village. And the mother says, son, that is not right. Next time, you be careful. That is not what we are now talking about. And then say the boy, he says, Mama, you tell me like that today, I also do that another time. Spare the rod, spare the child. That is a main of my own point. I also come and say, and let me just put this clear, that we, as the proposing side, are really beneficially. And we are saying that we can accommodate you. We have space. We can accommodate you. Or this hall is a big one. Is it true? Thank you. Think of that.
Opposition, you have 3 minutes to respond to the audience.
I am a man full of disbelief because a person has come here and lied again. Before I continue, let me answer your question. The use of contraceptives is already here. We are already being taught how to use them because the menace of HIV and AIDS is with us. We need to find a way so that we can curb it. That's why there is the use of contraceptives. But that is a topic of another day. As I believe, in many African communities, when a child is born, he is considered a child of the community, and many occasions are held by the community so that the child can know that he is a member of the community. Now then you tell me that when a child is growing, all the moral virtues should come from the parents. And if a child decays, it is the parents. You're wrong. Because the community plays a major role. I have a book that I believe in. A very good book called The River and the Source. We learn about Aoro, son of Mark Anthony Sigu and Elizabeth. Mark was an army soldier, and he taught his son all the virtues that he needed. But when he got to high school, what did he do? He got himself into trouble, and then he got a suspension. Now tell me, will you blame that to the parents? To the siblings? No. Judge Major, I have a question for you. If you are a parent and you work from 5 to 9 p.m., and your wife works from 9 to 5, and then you still strike a balance by getting your kids, talk to them, give them a lecture, and tell them the good things about life. And then your child just comes, he becomes a drunkard. Will you blame yourself? No, if the audience, it were you, would you blame yourself? If you were to blame yourself, raise your hand. If you are not, you see, above all, it must be understood that the training of a youth is a collective responsibility. When we do train ourselves, it is us who train ourselves. My brother here can train me. He can train me. My brother can train me. My parents can train me. The whole community takes part. That's why I want to strongly oppose the motion that states the family institution is the source for the moral decadence in the society. God bless you.
Final statements now. Proposition, you have a minute.
Augustine Monene, back again. First of all, I want to clarify on the issue of contraceptives. What is the need of putting our children's life in danger? For example, use of contraceptives. Why can't it wait? How much will it cost you? We have nuns. We also have brothers and other organizations in which they dedicate their lives to serving one or the other purpose. Now, how many have died because of not engaging in sexual immorality? None. On the issue of a child taking after the child, let's take, for example, our current president. His father, Mzee Jomo Kenyatta, was the president of Kenya, the first president of Kenya. What did that do to Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta? It acted as a source of motivation. His father set a goal forward for him. Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta also wanted to become the president just like his father. And what does that also take us to? Adolf Hitler. The fact that he became a merciless murderer can only lead us to one explanation, that his parents were not able to bring him up morally. If your parent tells you, don't do this, don't do that, don't do that. If you mean yes, it is yes. And if you mean no, it is no. We'll not be having cases of boys agreeing to be sodomized by their teachers. True or false? I take I take that as true. Secondly, thirdly, about Mark Sigu's son, Aoro. We are told that Aoro was suspended, but he did not take it further to tell us that Aoro was disciplined. He stayed without food as a form of punishment. And what did he later become? He became a surgeon. And what does that tell us? Mark Sigu realized what he has to do as a parent in order for him to raise up his children morally. And with that, have a nice time. Thank you.
Opposition, you have a minute as well.
Back on stage, Ogiri Alex. Okay, you cannot just stand here and talk about Uhuru Kenyatta following the footsteps of his father. Do you really know that Mzee Jomo Kenyatta had very many children? Why is it that it's only Uhuru Kenyatta that is famous and doing right in the government? The same case applies. A parent may try his or her best. The family may combine and try his or their best to ensure that a child follows the right track. But unfortunately, it's in their own perception that they take it and decide to follow the track. But you cannot blame the child you cannot now blame Mzee Jomo Kenyatta for the other children that failed him. It is only Uhuru who did, maybe according to how his father wanted him to do. We also see him talking about parents should try and show us the right direction. You expect now our parents, that would fit to a 2-3-year-old kid trying to crawl, that a parent can monitor everywhere he goes. But we are mature and we can do our own things. So you don't expect a parent to follow us. My last point, it's about a survey conducted by Ipsos Synovate on 2012. And the survey was that about 200 teen parties per county are held in every holiday. So think about it. Can we seriously blame the parents for that? Definitely no. Thank you.
Karima High School were to tell us that it's not about the family, is it? And I love the examples you gave that, listen, once someone is 18 years old, we can go ahead. And that was a good cross-examination, especially to Daniel, who was talking about the Osamas and the others. Victor, however, when you start, you don't want to cross-examine first. You want to come and give your submissions, okay? Just give your submissions first, don't cross-examine. The examples you gave, however, are very good, that the media can bear responsibility in that. It has been teaching people, all these bad morals, for example, and the rest. Just work on your delivery to become even more excellent in your speech, right? Brother Alex, peer pressure, good example. Bad influence, good example. I love your confidence. I mean, you stood out as well in terms of confidence. Just check on your mastery of languages a little, then you'll flow, okay?
Leshau boys, let me talk to you. I'll give you a lesson on debate. Number one, when you're given a motion, look for the definition of terms. Number two, sit down, brainstorm, come up with issues. Number three, scrutinize those issues and order them in terms of their importance. And finally, look for examples that will support the issues that you've come up with. Very important, tagline your argument so that we may know where you are in the course of your presentation. Number one, number two, number three. Point out your issue, provide evidence, explain, link us back to what you're talking about, and you'll have very good presentation. But your presentation wasn't that nicely packaged. Daniel, talk about Hitler and Osama bin Laden. And my question is, are you sure Adolf Hitler and Osama bin Laden did not have good upbringing within the family setup? You might not be sure, but if you are sure, then give us a document to show that maybe the parents did not give them proper upbringing. It was totally a stray argument. Augustine, you mentioned a song. My question is, what is wrong with the song? Unless you take the theme in that song and say, this song talks about this and this is bad, and tell us why you think it's bad. But I think a parent singing a song before the children should not be any issue, or rather of any issue. Samson, you have a good voice. I mean, when you stand to speak, you command the attention of the audience. But now the problem is, what did you just say? I had a problem really following through. And when you are sitting down, my question was, what has he just said? So you really need to tagline and point your issues very well.
Thank you, judges. To the numbers now. Leshau boys, the judges awarded you 55%. Please give them a round of applause. Karima High School, the judges awarded you 63%, making you the winners.
Congratulations to the two teams on stage. We'd also like to thank you, our studio audience, and our viewer back home. Keep watching the Great Debaters Contest. Follow us on Twitter at Great Debaters EA. I am Austin Yumbok.
And I am Mariam Bashar. Catch you next time.
The Great Debaters Contest 2016 registration is now open. Teachers or school administrations should register on www.greatdebaterscontest.com/register.